Congressman, Speaker Johnson says avoiding a government shutdown is his top priority. May I ask if it is your top priority, Congressman?
Well, good morning, Stuart. I'm going to tell you, my top priority is trying to honor my commitment to the constituents that I represent. And that starts with actually doing what we said we would do, which is cutting spending, reducing the size of government, making sure that we focus our defense on actually killing people and blowing stuff up rather than becoming a social engineering experiment, and securing the border of the United States. And so, look, everybody shares the goal of making sure that the priorities of our government are funded properly. For example, our men and women in uniform receiving paychecks, but not to the expense of our using the power of the purse to hold the administration accountable. So we'll see what happens between now and November 17th. But Speaker Johnson has a lot of work to do to get appropriations bills done over the next 2.5 weeks and to set the table for an actual debate in front of the American people about making sure we take our country back and stop spending money that's driving up inflation, killing our economy, funding all manners of world engagements, and continuing to leave our border wide open for exploitation by terrorists and all manners of dangerous individuals that can harm us.
Well, reading between the lines, it sounds like you are a holdout again, and that you are quite prepared to shut the government down. You are, aren't you? Yes,
well,
you are.
Let me just say, well, let me say, Stuart, the question here is, do you believe that we should continue to fund a United Nations that literally just stood with Hamas? Should we continue to fund a wide open border that is endangering my constituents, where people are dying from fentanyl? Should we continue to fund the World Health Organization and all of these leftist organizations and rags that have been undermining our ability to have health care freedom around the world? These are questions that we should be answering. And continuing continuing resolution of a bloated $1.7 trillion spending bill that's driving the inflation that you report on every single day, dealing with the market conditions and the problems in our economy because our government irresponsibly spends money. No, I'm not going to blindly saddle up and say, sure, let me write another blank check for all of America to wonder what their leaders in Washington are doing.
But I do remember, was it 3-4 weeks ago? The House Republicans rejected a deal that Speaker McCarthy had worked out because he said it wasn't good enough. And we had 3 weeks where we didn't have a speaker, and the Republican Party was embarrassed up and down the wazoo throughout the entire country. That's what we had 4 weeks ago. Are we going to do the same again?
Remember, Stuart, that I was a part of putting forward a proposal that would have reduced spending, secured our border, and kept the government going.
Yeah, and you didn't have the votes for it. You didn't have the votes for it. You didn't have the votes.
Under Stuart, that's true.
So
but guess what?
Point?
Now we have a
speaker. What is the point? If you know you don't have the votes, so you shut down the government, we're embarrassed all over again.
All right, Stuart, what do you want to do? Sign up for the endless spending plan for our Democratic colleagues that's destroying our country? If that's what you want, then just bring Democrats on your show to continue to vomit out all of the ridiculous spending programs and my Republican colleagues who absolutely refuse to do their job and do what they said they would do. I am not going to back down, Stuart, not 1 inch. Not 1 inch am I going to back down when my border in Texas, when this border is endangering the people I represent, and when we're involved in all sorts of entanglements around the globe, funding $100 billion to Ukraine with no clear mission. Now we're talking about $14 billion for Israel, which I support, but should be paid for, to be very clear to my Republican colleagues. If you don't pay for it, I'm not supporting it. We need to do our job. The American people are tired of it. It is game time, and I'm not going to back down because we had a little speaker kerfuffle. My policies stayed the same under McCarthy, and I didn't vote to vacate him. I voted to continue trying to move forward and move the football down the field, and I tried to move forward legislation to try to get the job done. But I'm not going to just, roll over because now we have a new speaker.
Congressman, we admire your position, and I'm glad you're here to present it to us with a smile. We appreciate that. We really do. And we're both smiling. That's the way to end this discussion. Coming back again. See you soon, okay? It was good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.
Yes.